to Oben Çoban, who's from Turkey's branch of the charity Save the Children. Good to have you with us on the programme. So your organisation is working on the ground in affected areas of Turkey. What are they telling you?
Yeah, since the onset of the crisis early, we have been out in the field and we have been involved in the initial needs assessments. So, yeah, the calamity of the situation, the desperateness of the situation is really huge. All the drone footage we have seen, our field staff reporting out is showing us, especially three towns, Hatay, Adıyaman, and Maraş, they were flooded out. The whole cities are simply being destroyed. I mean, no services, no electricity, no gas, no water, no internet. It's a race against that. Nighttime temperatures are below 10 degrees minus, and simply people are trying to survive in the streets without any external support, unfortunately. And especially in the rural areas, the access is one of the biggest problems. Getting to those who need support was already problematic, and we had the third day. It's still a very big issue, and unfortunately, double with the cold and other problems, it's causing a grave concern in us.
So devastating scenes in those affected parts of Turkey. It's also affected Syria, of course, these earthquakes. Do you know what's happening there?
Yeah, I think it's a similar scene in Syria as well. I mean, we are hearing very catastrophic scenes that again seen there with thousands of people on the rubble, and due to the lack of, rescue operations, we are actually having very critical issues there as well, because rescue operations are quite inefficient at the moment. But hopefully, with more aid coming from international world, the tide has turned back. And it's not only that, but even if people survive, due to the lack of, health service provision, lack of food, water, and lack of facilities in the areas, unfortunately, even the survivors are in a grave danger of losing their lives.
Your organisation works with children, of course, and we've seen some very harrowing images of children caught up in these earthquakes. Is time running out?
Well, yeah, it's very fast running out, but we are still hearing stories of miracles, and hopefully this can go on. But as I said, the freezing temperature coupled with lack of medical support, etc., time is really ticking out, and honestly, we are right now in a critical period, in a critical time. And even the children who have been taken out of the rubble, and they have been taken out to the hospitals, separated from their parents. This is also causing grave issues with the children, like post-traumatic stress syndrome, and even there are some reported cases of children missing, which are currently being investigated by government authorities, and we are also giving our support to find out what exactly is going on. So that's a big issue.
And you've talked about the freezing temperatures because the conditions now in the aftermath of these earthquakes are also putting people at risk, aren't they?
Yeah, they are very much putting them into danger. And normally on the, let's say, smaller size earthquake, what happens is that after the earthquake, blankets, thermals, and all other stuff are being provided, and this is aiding people. But at the moment, what we are seeing is, as majority of the scenes are not being accessed, and the focus is currently on trying to get people from the abyss. Unfortunately, those who are out in the street trying to survive freezing cold and other, lack of services, are confronting a situation, life and death situation, unfortunately. And we should also keep in mind that the roads are destroyed, the airports are not able to be used, and it's like 10 cities in a geographically like 450 kilometers widespread area. So it's going to be much more tougher in the upcoming weeks to be able to take hold of that, and I think it's going to have a huge impact on children as well in the coming days.
So damaged infrastructure making it even harder to get help to where it's needed. But aid is coming in, isn't it, from around the world? How important is that aid?
Yeah, that's very critically important, and it's flying in. But the actual issue is when the aid comes in to some other hubs like Antep or Diyarbakir, the real issue is actually getting them into the actual earthquake hit zones. as the roads are temporary, as airports are not working, this is the toughest thing. International aid coming into those main hubs, transferring them into those people, and that's not even enough. Also distributing them directly to those who are in urgent need. This is the actual problem, and at the moment what we see is this issue, no one has been able to find a solution for that. And I think the best chance we have now is getting this flow of international aid as soon as possible and as much as possible. And in the meanwhile, government organizations together with international organizations, we are trying to find ways of facilitating this process. The roads are being repaired, the airport is being repaired. Hopefully we'll be able to have a more efficient way of getting this international aid packages into the actual impacted zones. And it is actually important to see that the weather is very bad in the whole area. So it also makes distribution almost impossible. Some of the roads between Maraş-Antep area is clogged, covered with snow, and it takes like 3 times more to cross those roads. So hopefully very soon after the repair of the roads, we will be finding a way of making those transitions between hubs to impacted areas much efficient.
Okay, Oben Çoban from Turkey's branch of Save the Children. Good to talk to you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.